Good morning, children. Today we are going to begin with the respiration in stems. In the last class we had done the respiration in roots. Today we do respiration in stems. The stem of most herbaceous plants have stomata. Now what is herbaceous, children? Herbaceous means they are the small plants that are very small in height and they have green soft stems, tendril stems. Those are known as herbs. So those herbs, they have stomata. The exchange of respiratory gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide, takes place through the same stomata. Oh, come on to the next slide, children. This is a reason, children. Many a times you must have observed that many of our plants that are kept at home, children, you keep watering them, you have kept them in the sunlight, but still you see they die after a certain time. Now what is the reason? Why do they die? So the reason is written over here. You are going to read it, children. What happens is, when we keep watering the soil, the air spaces between the soil finishes, and as a result the soil particles, they come together, they stick together and they clump. When they clump, no air is left between, so the roots of the plant is not able to breathe. It is not able to do the aerobic respiration. Then what it does, in the absence of the oxygen, it starts doing anaerobic respiration. As a result, alcohol is produced and this alcohol ultimately kills the plant. So this is important, children. This can be asked like a reason. The oxygen from the air diffuses into the stem of a herb through the stomata. That means the oxygen will come inside the plant through the stomata, and from there that oxygen will reach to all the cells for doing respiration. After the process of respiration, children, you know carbon dioxide is produced. That carbon dioxide will also move out of the plant through the same stomata. Now if the stem is woody, this was the condition of a herbaceous stem, children, right? That the respiration takes place, the exchange of the gases takes place through the stomata only. But if it is a woody plant, that means the stem is not so soft. Then what happens? Underline, if the stem is woody, then the gaseous exchange will take place through the cracks in the bark, and these cracks or the slits, the cracks or the slits are known as lenticels. So the respiration will take place through the lenticels, and the gas will reach to all the inner cells of the stem for respiration. The carbon dioxide gas produced in the cells will also move out through the same lenticels. That means the same process will take place through the lenticels. The coming in of the air and the moving out of the air will all take place through the same lenticels. After this, children, there are certain differences given between the lenticels and the stomata. They are very important. You have to do that. See the differences, and you have to write these differences in your notebook also, children. Stomata are located on the lower surface of the dicot leaf and both the surface of the monocot leaf. And the lenticels are located on the stem and the branches of the woody plants. The second difference, the stomata remain open during the daytime, whereas the lenticels remain open all the time. Okay? Okay, children, we begin with the next topic, and that is respiration in leaves. Underline, children, the leaves of a plant have tiny pores called stomata. Again, stomata are present on the leaves, you know that. Along with the stomata, they also have the intercellular spaces. Now, intercellular spaces means the spaces that are present in between the cells. Underline, the exchange of the respiratory gases in the leaves will take place by the process of diffusion again, and through the same stomata. Oxygen from the air will come inside the leaf through the stomata, and after the process of respiration, the carbon dioxide that is produced, children, will move out through the leaves through the same stomata. Thus, the process of photosynthesis will take place during the daytime. You know, children, for the process of photosynthesis, sunlight is very important, so photosynthesis will only take place during the daytime. And during this process, carbon dioxide is used up and oxygen will be given out. Okay, move on to the next page, children. There are 2 points to remember given over here. Mark them. Respiration in the leaves will occur only during the daytime as well as night. That means respiration is a process that goes on all 24 hours in a plant. But the photosynthesis will only go on during the daytime and it will stop during night. a part of oxygen which is given out as a result of photosynthesis. Now during photosynthesis, you know children, carbon dioxide is taken in and oxygen is given out. What happens with this oxygen? Some part of this oxygen is used by the plant itself. Some part of this oxygen is used up by the plant for the process of respiration, and the extra oxygen is given out through the stomata. Carbon dioxide which is given out by the respiration, now when the respiration is taking place, they are using the oxygen and they are giving out carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide is used by the plant only for the process of photosynthesis. And in this way the cycle continues. That means during the daytime, that is why we say that during the daytime plants are taking in carbon dioxide and they are giving out oxygen. Why? Because carbon dioxide is used maximum during the daytime for doing photosynthesis, and whatever oxygen they are producing is lot more than what is required for respiration. So some part of it is used for respiration and rest is expelled out. Coming to the next thing is the activity, children. You can see this activity over here, it's given. You can read this activity. I am trying to explain you from the figure what it is doing. See, in 2 test tubes they have taken lime water, and then the mouth of the test tube are closed with the stopper, that are the 2-hole stopper, and through the stopper the delivery tubes are passing in, and through one of this delivery tube a straw has been attached and the person is exhaling out. That means he is breathing out. Now if you see it clearly, children, it is indicating that one of the delivery tube is going inside the lime water and one is on top. That means it is not touching the lime water at all. When this experiment goes on for some time, after some time we see that the lime water will turn milky in both the test tubes, but it will be more milky in this one rather than this one. Why? Because in this, children, as you can see, the carbon dioxide is going and mixing directly into the lime water, so it will turn milky quickly and in the intense form. Whereas over here, when he is breathing, carbon dioxide is staying on top of the lime water. So slowly this carbon dioxide will also mix with lime water, but it will not mix to that extent. So this experiment proves that the amount of the carbon dioxide in the exhaled air is more than in the air that is present around us. Underline these lines that are given on the lower side. The release of energy takes place only with the help of several chemical reactions, generally that are catalyzed by the enzymes that are produced in our body. These reactions, which take place in all living organisms, are termed as cellular respiration or internal respiration. I hope this is very clear. You will read the activity, you will understand this, children, very well. Come to the next page. Okay, come to the next page and see, children, the energy released during respiration is stored in the form of ATP molecules. Underline the full form of ATP and you have to learn this very well. It is adenosine triphosphate, and this is the same reaction that you have done it before also. This entire, underline these 2 lines, very important. This entire process takes place partially in the cytoplasm, you know, the jelly-like substance that is filled inside the cells, and in the mitochondria. Mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell, of every cell which is present in our body. So with this, start with the knowledge enhancer, which is given on page 60, children. Leaves have both stomata as well as intercellular spaces. Now intercellular spaces means the spaces that are present in between the cells. If the leaves are isobilateral, now underline, children, what is isobilateral? It's a condition in which the upper surface and the lower surface of the leaf are similar. That means they are same in structure. Then the stomata can be present on both the upper and the lower epidermis. The second kind is a dorsiventral leaf. Underline, children. In this, the dorsal and the ventral surface are not the same. That means the upper and the lower sides are different. In such kind of leaves, the stomata will be present only on the lower epidermis. That means on the lower side. Intercellular spaces are present in between the spongy parenchyma of the mesophyll cells of the leaf. Now these cells, you have already seen the parenchyma cells in the chapter that we had done last, that was photosynthesis. There is the structure of a leaf given. Over there you have seen this. So in between the cells, whatever places are present, those are known as intercellular spaces. Underline, children. The gaseous exchange, that is of the oxygen and the carbon dioxide, takes place through the stomata as well as intercellular spaces in the leaves. That means both the structures will help. This space as well as stomata will help in the gaseous exchange. Underline this also, children. Do you know? Every part of the plant, whether it is leaf, stem, or the deepest place, the roots, they all will respire. Oxygen is obtained from the atmosphere through, and put a tick for all these. In the leaves, it is through stomata. In the stem, it is through the lenticels, and in the roots, it is through the general surface. That means the surface of the roots. Now look at the fact file, children. Right over here, reason. These could be asked like reasons. Plowing or tilling the soil creates the tiny air spaces around the soil particles, and it will provide a source of oxygen for the roots. Waterlogged, that means that contain a lot of water. When we pour a lot of water in the soil, children, the clumping of the soil particles take place. That means they become compact. They come together, they clump like this. So when they clump like this, children, the air spaces finish, and when the air spaces finish from the soil, there is no air inside the soil, there is no oxygen. As a result, the roots are not able to respire. One should not sleep under the trees during night. This also we had explained you earlier, children. Why? Because as long as there is no photosynthesis taking place, the plants are also doing the process of respiration all the time. So during the night time, they are only doing respiration, as so they are also taking in oxygen and they are giving out carbon dioxide. So under the trees, the amount of carbon dioxide in the air becomes too much, and that can suffocate you. Coming to the next slide, basic process of respiration. For respiration, there is a constant supply of oxygen which is provided by the process of breathing. Underline, this is the definition of external respiration, children. Taking in oxygen-rich air and giving out of air rich in carbon dioxide is known as external respiration. This is the definition. I have written DEF, so you also have to write this definition in your notebooks. Second definition is the process of respiration which releases energy that takes place inside the cells of the body. If it is taking place inside the cells of the body, children, it is then known as cellular respiration. Why? Because it is taking place inside the cells. That is why it is termed as cellular respiration.